In this video, you'll get to see sugar beets being harvested and taken all the way through to the factory. You'll see two harvesting methods, one with a more conventional harvesting method with the topper and beet digger, and another with two roper harvesters. We chatted to John Thomas from the University of Nebraska and Michael from Western Sugar. A huge thanks goes out to them for making this possible. Before we get into the video, I'd like to ask you to subscribe to the channel, leave a like and comment down below. Enjoy.
My name is John Thomas and I'm a crops and water extension educator with the University of Nebraska. My office is out here in Alliance in western Nebraska. And we're here today at a sugar beet field, and it's really towards the very tail end of the sugar beet harvest. It's the 2nd of November. It's been a very good crop this year. These beets were probably planted in April, and it's been a prolonged fall. We've had a lot of good warm weather. It's been a little on the dry side, but the beet crop is irrigated. This is kind of our standard beet harvest procedure with the topper that comes through first and tops the beets, followed by the beet digger. And then those beets will be loaded on a semi, about 28 to 30 tons per semi load, and they'll be hauled off to the sugar factory. So this year the harvest and the sugar have been really good. I think we've been getting 28 to 30 plus ton beets, and the sugars have been well over 19%, which is really great. So I think the beet producers have had a great year this year. The sugar beet yield here is probably about 30 tons per acre, in a semi hauls about 30 tons. And so coming off this field, it takes a semi load of beets for each acre, and so there's just a lot of trucking that goes along with the sugar beet harvest. Sugar beets are normally planted in April. Once they get established, they're a pretty tough, hardy plant, and then they will have season-long growth whereby they develop the roots, and the roots get bigger. They're actually fairly hardy when it comes to hail as well. The crop can recover from a pretty heavy hail, although that does impact the yield and the sugar potential. But anyway, then they'll go season long, and here we are, 1st of November, at the very end of our sugar beet harvest this year. So you'll notice a lot of birds out here today. They're gulls, and they're into this field by the hundreds. And so as the harvest operation goes through, it churns up the ground, it turns up insects, it also turns up a lot of small rodents. And these gulls are in there literally fighting over little rodents, and they end up eating, and actually are helping with management and control of some of the pests that we might have in the field. Another thing with sugar beet harvest is there's a lot of soil disruption that goes on. The harvest process itself really churns up the soil and digging the beets, and then the semis are following the harvester through the field. The harvester never really stops. The semis follow along and load on the go, and so then you've got semis going through the field that are loaded, so you end up with quite a bit of compaction. So oftentimes after the beet harvest, they'll come through with large subsoil rippers to till up and break up the soil and that compaction that has occurred during the harvest. So a lot of sugar beets are planted on 30-inch rows. That's like the field that we're here at today, right here. And some sugar beets are planted on 22-inch rows. Most of our sugar beets are center pivot irrigated now. There are still some areas where they do furrow irrigation with gated pipe or with tubes, but the majority of our sugar beets are irrigated with center pivots. Palmer amaranth, as you can see in this field, is becoming one of our major weed problems, not only here but across the whole growing areas of the United States. Some of the problems with Palmer amaranth is the fact that it develops multiple herbicide resistances, to where it becomes resistant to almost any herbicide you treat it with. Secondly, the weed comes up all season long. It could come up in May, and it could also come up in September. And so it comes up in different flushes throughout the year, and it just becomes a major issue in treating it. And it's particularly competitive with sugar beets and dry beans, which are a lower crop. Growers try to manage it in corn. There's more herbicides available, but the Palmer amaranth is becoming probably our main weed issue that we're struggling with. So we're standing here at Western Sugar. These are the large piles that are piled at the factory that will be processed here in Scotts Bluff. So the beets are dug out of the fields in this area. Thousands and thousands of acres of beets are harvested. Some of the beets are put at a pilot location in the proximity of where they're harvested, and then they're rehauled in here to these piles. And interestingly enough, sugar beet sugar is exactly the same product that comes from sugar cane sugar. You cannot distinguish the difference between them.
My name is Michael Ann Relka. I'm an agriculturalist with Western Sugar Cooperative. We're a grower-owned cooperative that processes sugar beets. Our location that we're at right now is in western Nebraska, around Scotts Bluff. The beet harvest starts in September and goes all the way through the end of October usually. We start by bringing the beets in on grower semi-trucks. They get to a piling ground where we pile them into 20-foot tall piles, thousands of feet long. Then throughout the year, the rehaul trucks come and process those, or take those beets to be processed at the factory. When the semi-truck gets to the piling ground, they check in at a scale. The scale has a system where they are weighed in. It determines whether or not a sample needs to be collected off of that truck, sends a card down with the truck driver, and at the piler then that sample can be collected. They unload their beets. Tear dirt is collected also and taken off the load, and then they come back to the scale house to weigh out at the end of the whole process. So the Scotts Bluff factory handles about 45,000 acres worth of sugar beets. Works out to be about 1.4 million tons that it'll process throughout the year. Sugar beet itself is a perishable crop, and so we don't want to leave it out in the elements too long. We try to process it as quickly as possible. So as the beets are coming in, some of it is going directly to sugar production, and some of it is getting just to a juice form and then stored in tanks that we're able to bring back to production throughout the rest of the year and make sugar out of that juice too. So we will hopefully finish slicing beginning of March, but really we'll still be producing sugar for several months after that.
If you want to see more videos just like this, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.